Minneapolis, bike trips make up 5% of our commutes. Worldwide, bikes and e-bikes make up 6% of all miles traveled. If by 2050 they up 14% of travel in world cities, there would be an overall 11% reduction in carbon emissions. If we are to reach that goal and reduce our global carbon emissions with increased bike usage, the city of Minneapolis should make several infrastructure changes, such as more protected bike lanes or bike-only paths. In addition to infrastructure changes in the way that people are encouraged to bike and how community is built around biking should be taken into account too. In this video, our team will propose several developments the city could implement to reach the goal of reducing our carbon emission.
I definitely like how much there is in terms of biking and especially designated lanes for biking. There are certain areas that could definitely use more. I would love to see just more bike-friendly roads and even just bike-only roads, possibly.
Some of Minneapolis' streets are already very safe for biking, particularly those that use a median to separate cars and bikers, creating a protected bike lane. However, many streets still use unprotected lanes. We think that if more streets implemented protected bike lanes, more people would be encouraged to ride, not to mention that it would improve biking's actual safety. Some other cities have even implemented more complicated landscaping for their bike medians, such as including grass or other plants. Doing something like this would increase sustainability even further. Alongside street bike paths, Minneapolis also has dedicated paths, the Minneapolis Midtown Greenway. It begins around Lake of the Isles and ends at the Mississippi River. While the Greenway is great for Minneapolis residents of St. Paul and other suburbs aren't able to practically use it. One of our proposals is to expand the Greenway over and past the river and towards downtown St. Paul, which would greatly increase the amount of people able to use it. This would also connect downtown St. Paul and Minneapolis using a singular, dedicated bikeway, which could be valuable to many commuters. Additionally, some areas of Minneapolis' dedicated bike paths, like those around the Chain of the Lakes, are only one-directional. Because of that, these paths can be longer to navigate and make it difficult to turn around, which can discourage potential bikers from using them. Another one of our proposals is to improve these types of paths by adding a second lane. Adding dedicated pedestrian lanes to bikeways which don't already have them might help too, increasing awareness and the amount of people using the paths. What is something that you would like to see added or improved to the Greenway to just make it a better experience for you or make it a more accessible and welcoming for people who don't bike?
The creation of more green spaces and spaces that hang out along the Greenway.
Nice.
It's treated kind of like a bike and pedestrian highway and not really a place to hang out, but there's a lot of potential to develop that.
To make people feel more connected, there could be community building and Greenway awareness events, such as pop-up fairs, performances, bike fairs, where you can learn how to fix your bike for free. Events like this already happen in the community. We just propose bringing them to the streets of the Greenway. One example is Grease Rag Night at Cycles for Change in Seward, which teaches women, trans, and non-binary people how to fix their bike. Along with these bike fairs, we also plan to have designated paved areas where food trucks, artists, and other hobbyists could set up shop to draw people into the space, instead of it being a secluded area, which would allow for potential economic growth.
I myself, I would love to explore more trails. It's just I guess I'm just scared. I've heard stories where some bikers got robbed or something like that,
As safety is a main concern for residents along the bike highway, our plan includes many new ideas that would allow for people to feel more at ease in this environment. The first is that we would add more blue light emergency buttons with cameras on them along the paths, and once that button is pushed, emergency services are called. The next plans are to solve the many concerns about biking in the winter when phones and other electronics die quicker, and people can be exposed to extreme cold. We have proposed to add warming houses sporadically along the bike highway that will contain charging stations where a piece of technology can be locked and stored if the person should not have a charging cord. The warming house would be there for anyone who would need to go indoors to warm up, use the restroom, or freshen up before getting to their destination. There would be bike tools and other necessary vending machines for people who may not carry tools with them to fix flat tires or broken chains. Inside of the vending machines there will also be things for medical emergencies, such as pain reliever, gauze, band-aids, glucose tablets, bottled water, and instant cold packs. When looking at large-scale change, cities need to start implementing infrastructure that supports behavior change to reach our climate change goals. If we're not doing this, people are less likely to ride their bikes or walk rather than use a personal automobile because they feel unsafe doing so. We believe that all streets should be safe, accessible, and welcoming for all people.